There are substances out there at gas stations or elsewhere that are a danger, a threat to the health of our people. I'm going to take action, but we've got to learn a little bit more.
The governor is talking about the substance kratom, a tree native to the Southeast Asia that's sold over the counter in pills, powders, gummies, candies, drinks, and leaf form. Connecticut banned it statewide yesterday, and now lawmakers here in the Bay State are under pressure to decide what comes next. Some people use kratom to self-treat anxiety, pain, or nausea, but it has no approved medical use, isn't prescribed by doctors, and has been linked to severe side effects, including seizures and hallucinations. The DEA lists kratom as a drug and chemical of concern. Right now here in Massachusetts, kratom is sold with no statewide regulations, no product testing, and no age restrictions, meaning colorful gummies and drinks can be bought by people of any age. Some communities have acted on their own. Northampton banned it last year, and Springfield just debated a local ban last month. State lawmakers are weighing two options. Senate Bill 1558 would follow Connecticut's lead and ban kratom sales entirely over safety concerns. House Bill 5157 would keep kratom legal but tightly controlled, barring sales to anyone under 21 and requiring lab testing to ensure it isn't laced with other dangerous chemicals. While the substance's fate in the Bay State is currently uncertain, the governor wants you to know she's taking the issue seriously.
Our Department of Public Health is evaluating that right now and talking to officials in Connecticut. I can assure you, as somebody who fought the Sacklers and the opioid makers, I'm really invested in people's health.